Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Brother Banter Show. This is just a show where two brothers talk about stuff. And my name is Nick, and as always, I'm joined by my co host, Jack. And today, we're going to be talking about some pretty cool stuff. We got next gen consoles coming up, we got Halo Infinite, and just, probably some COVID stuff, maybe some election stuff. Who knows what we're going to get into. But yeah, first off, let's start by talking about some next gen consoles. Jack, you were just talking before we started the show how you were really into the PS5 and you also built yourself a computer. Oh no,
Last
you froze froze up.
summer, you're lagging hard.
Mm-hmm.
You the blur in the background. Oh
Okay,
shit.
all right, that's all
Oh,
right. Got a little technical difficulties, but we're pushing forward.
all right. Yeah. So last summer I built a computer and I tried to make the specs so that I could game on it if I so desire, but it was mostly geared towards 4K editing because on my little MacBook 13-inch 2015 uh, piece of shit. It could not handle what I was trying to do, and especially moving forwards into the kind of career path I want to take. It would be very beneficial for me to have a desktop computer. But I also was a subscriber to the Xbox Live Game Pass, and that was like it was really interesting being able to play games that I would play on my Xbox on my computer. And like I was very naive in the beginning because like I didn't really understand at what temperature it was normal for a GPU and or a CPU to run at, and it runs a lot hotter than I thought because it says like 77 degrees Celsius, and I was like, damn, that's pretty fucking
Yeah,
hot.
that's very hot.
I was like, god damn. So I was getting a little worried, but then I went on Reddit and I talked to a lot of people through Reddit, and they really affirmed that it's like that's normal. It normally like starts winding down, so the fans kick on to start cooling off the GPU at around 76, 77 degrees.
Nice.
But I've been playing Dishonored 2 on like high, it's like the high setting. I've got everything on high. There's like high and then there's like ultra. So it's just like a step below like the very max setting. And that's probably just because I'm a pansy about the computer I built and I don't want to blow anything up. Um, but I've been playing that a fair amount lately, and I was getting into Rocket League. Like it's like car soccer, for those who don't know. Um, started getting into Rocket League. The game's pretty old, so I had a lot of skill gap to cover, and I am still really bad, but I at least can hit the ball. Like that's the thing is like you think you're like good when you start hitting the ball, and motherfuckers are doing like flips and shit in the air with the ball, and I'm just like, huh, this is hacks. But so I started playing that on Xbox, and then I found out it was free to play in cross-platform, so I got it on my computer, and it is night and day difference. Like I was astonished at how like I run it at normally like 90 frames per second
Mm-hmm.
as compared to 24 or whatever is on Xbox, and just that alone, just the fluidity of it has is pretty crazy. But also like ray tracing. So like you're in an outdoor arena and like as you fucking drive along, there's like trees on the side and like the sunlight shines through the trees and like you can actually like see the sunlight. And that's I've never played like a real game on a fucking computer, but that is like this is a different ball game. But that is also why I strongly consider getting a PlayStation over Xbox because I could run all just about all Xbox games that are going to be on the Xbox Game
Mm-hmm.
Pass for PC at about the same frames as Xbox Series X is gonna, but I don't have to drop $5 on another console.
Right. So then, why would you even purchase a PS5 if you can run those games on your PC at those high frame rates?
Because I think that what PlayStation is doing with their controller is really pushing the gaming environment forwards. It is adding a whole new level of immersibility. I don't know if that's a word or not.
Immersion.
There it is. That's what I was looking for. But I think that is going to add a lot to it, and I also think that I would be more. I would get a PlayStation 5 for the controller and the PlayStation exclusives that I don't know if I could get on my computer. Like if I were to go through Steam or something like
Mm-hmm.
that, like Ghost of Tsushima and like just like Spider-Man and shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. God of War even. I don't know if I could get that on my computer or not.
I think that, no, that's what the big draw is for a lot of people is those first party games that they have. It's like you just can't beat some of them.
You like
Yeah.
um
I was just saying
you
you can't beat.
literally can't.
Yeah. I like they're just so good. Um, you know, like Nintendo has their games and PlayStation has theirs, and then Xbox just doesn't really have. And they've got Game Pass, which is
Well, they
very
got
very attractive.
and with Game Pass now with the EA Pass, that is
Yeah.
like holy shit. I didn't realize how much was included in that, but I was genuinely astonished because that's like all of Star Wars,
Yep.
like a lot of
Sports
like
games.
sports.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But Battlefield is tagged into that
Battlefield.
too.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So like when the new Battlefields, whenever Battlefield 6 comes
Battlefield
out,
6
that
is
will
gonna be
be
awesome.
on Game Pass because it will most likely also be part of EA Play.
EA Pass or EA Play, that's what it's
Mm-hmm.
called.
And those being combined, yeah, you'll probably have day one access to that game. But lucky for you, you can play that on your PC through Game Pass. But like,
Exactly, and it's like $10 a month or whatever, so I could get Game Pass just for my computer. I wouldn't
yeah,
have it through Xbox then.
okay, yeah, it's like 15.
Is like the Game Pass Ultimate,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, for so when you can play on both the
Mm-hmm.
Xbox and the PC. So I mean, we've always had an Xbox. We had the original Xbox,
But I
had a
mean, we also
360,
had the original PlayStation, like
and
PS1
and
and PS2.
PS2.
We
Yeah, I don't.
didn't get PlayStation 3. I
No, I
bought
don't,
a PlayStation 4
right,
at the end of high school.
right.
But I don't know. Would you ever consider? We've been lifers. We've been fucking lifers.
Yeah.
Sold my soul to Destiny. Sold my soul to Microsoft.
um, would I ever consider a PS5? Yeah, absolutely. Because I think playing like Horizon Zero Dawn,
Oh,
God of War,
I just won't
Spider-Man,
sell my
Ghost of
PlayStation 4 and I'll
Tsushima.
let you play all these games.
Yeah. I think playing through those would be a lot of fun. But also, like, I don't have a ton of time to be playing all those games. Like, I still haven't beat Zelda. Like, I every time I pick that game up, I'm like, man, this is an amazing game. And then I just get distracted from it, and then put it down for a couple more months, and life goes on like that. But yeah, I think the haptic feedback from the PlayStation controller is really cool. I think that Xbox has taken their controller for granted, like, because their controller has always felt really good in your hands, like the size of it,
Very ergonomic.
the buttons. Yeah, it's always felt really good for me, at least, compared to the PlayStation controller, because the PlayStation controller is so kind of like blocky.
It's just like it's like a rectangle with like two things you hold your hand.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
yeah. It's, and I got big hands, and the Xbox controller is always a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So I think that was more appealing to me to have a bigger controller. But as I was saying, I think that they've taken it for granted and not done as much as they could. Like with PlayStation's done the haptic feedback on the triggers now, and they had
Not done anything. Look at like they changed from like the original Xbox. They changed the white and black buttons to bumpers.
yeah, and that's it. Whereas PlayStation's got that like the touchpad thing in the center.
I was gonna tell you, like I took that for granted myself because I was just like, man, fuck this shit. Like, it's just like it's a
Yeah.
nuisance. I felt like it was a nuisance more than it was anything until I really got into Ghost of Tsushima and that like there's just like four motions that you can
Yeah.
make like just like while you're playing. Like you flick your thumb up and it like the wind. It's so crazy because it all like plays into another. So like you flick up on the touchpad and like the wind, like a gust of wind comes through and it kind of like that's like the guiding force. That's
Mm.
like there's no waypoints or anything like that. It's like a super like there's no HUD. Like it's just super clean. So you swipe up and then that the wind is like what guides you to where you're supposed to go.
Really? See, like that's
Mm-hmm.
so cool because then the developers of games can take advantage of those different forms of input from the player on PlayStation, but you can't do that with Xbox games. So it limits a little bit of the creativity that developers can put into their games, you know. So that's another thing. Like Xbox has fallen behind in that, but they really, yeah. So it's like a toss up for me
It
because
is.
you got Game Pass on Xbox, and the Series X looks like it's going to run games just crazy well. Load super
But you could say the
fast.
same thing about PlayStation because like I've went back
Right.
and forth so many times. Like, what should I do? Because like the specs are close enough to the same
Yeah.
that it's more of it's not going to be a hardware issue. It's going to be a software issue, and I think that Sony's software could just about be on par with Xbox's. In my eyes, though, really the only difference is that PlayStation moving forwards with their controller PlayStation exclusives.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox is just trying to broaden the market as to the games that they could get on the Game Pass.
Yeah.
Well, like we were also just talking about, like, yeah, it's nice to have like a fucking 1,000 games that you could go on, but like, how much time are you really spending
Mm-hmm.
within each one of those games?
Yeah. Me as a guy who has a full time job, I do activities outside of work. I have a kid. Like I don't have a ton of time to be, playing games. Even though I like put 40 hours into Destiny over a couple days, because Beyond Light came out.
Oh.
But yeah, we can talk about that in a little bit too, if you want. I can give my review of Beyond Light in a little while.
Yeah, sure.
Um, but yeah, so overall, I guess if we want to kind of wrap up this conversation and transition to Destiny, I think that the ecosystem of Xbox that they're trying to build is going to be really, really good and strong platform for them going forward. But I think what's like the creativity and the first party games that PlayStation has kind of gives them an advantage, in my opinion. So I
Yeah.
just gotta build a computer and be a computer main. And,
Yeah. Like honestly, like I don't regret a thing. Like
yeah,
it is like when you get here, you'll have to play like Halo or something. Like it is just
yeah, on the computer. Oh, for sure.
different. It is just different. Like
Yeah,
the PC is master race. I now have had all three PC's master race.
there you go. Yeah, you heard it here first. um,
But I
okay.
mean, in that same token, like they all three have something specific to themselves that like I don't know.
Well, and a lot of games are going to be
Cross-platform.
cross-play going forward. So yeah, those first-party story-driven games like God of War, Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima,
Mm-hmm.
those you're gonna have to buy the console for. But
Yeah.
oh well. Okay, so Destiny Beyond Light came out, and I played.
Give me some precursor. How okay, so give me the run of life for Destiny 2 because at this point I'm fucking lost.
Okay, all right. So Destiny 2 launched, and it was
How many years?
God. Uh so there was Destiny 2, then there was Forsaken, then there was Shadowkeep, and then there was Beyond Light. So 4 years ago.
Okay.
4 years ago, Destiny 2 launched, and it was okay. Um, you lost everything from Destiny 1. They didn't bring anything over. They developed a brand new game to put a number on a box so that they could sell it
Yeah.
because they were partnered with Activision as their publisher. Bungie was, who's the developer of Destiny. And then Destiny 2 launches. It's got a lot of hype around it, and it kind of fizzles. It doesn't really go bang like they wanted it to.
Like D1.
Yeah, it didn't take off like D1 did. People expected a lot of things to happen, but they didn't. Like, it seemed like Destiny 2 took a lot of steps backwards compared to the end of Destiny 1. Like, it seemed like they should have evolved more than they did. It seemed like they kind of regressed a little bit in a lot of ways. So people were not super happy with Destiny 2 at launch, and then they had a couple of expansions, or a couple of DLCs, I should say, like Curse of Osiris and Warmind, and those were both not like Curse of Osiris was like really regarded as like the lowest point of Destiny's history. Like,
oh shit!
People
Isn't
just
it, and that's the first expansion they've.
yeah, first DLC, yeah. So the reason why is because it was a bad launch and then followed up with a really bad DLC. So then Warmind comes out, which is a little bit better, a little more fun. And then what was it? Forsaken comes out, and that kind of really changed a lot of things and kind of set Destiny on the right track, I guess. But the publisher, Activision, was not happy with the sales, and so there was a lot of kind of turmoil between Bungie and Activision, and they eventually split. And then Destiny was kind of just putzing along, and then there's Shadowkeep, which is another big expansion, and that's brought with it the Moon, which was a previously used destination in Destiny 1. And at that point, Destiny was very, very, very crowded with stuff. There was 3 whole years worth of expansions and DLCs, and tons of different currencies and different missions and different things that were convoluting the process. Plus, Destiny went free to play. So there was all these new people trying to jump into the game for the first time, and they called it New Light, Destiny New Light, and those were the onboarding experience for people in New Light was very rough. Like, it was not good, I guess, in any way. It was very confusing, and in a lot of ways, Destiny is just a very confusing game because there's so many different.
Yeah. Dude,
so many different things going on.
Every time I play Destiny with you, it's like, who are these people? Why are you?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. So the onboarding process for Destiny it's rough because there's just so much going on in the game. Both systems, like your inventory and your gear and your weapons, as well as lore and story. There's so many different things going on. Like, you literally have to read a book to like understand what is happening.
Yeah.
So that's, we get through Shadowkeep, and there's a lot of crazy things going on in the lore, and Bungie themselves also says that they're going to, with Beyond Light, the most recent expansion, have this thing called the Destiny Content Vault. So they did remove with Beyond Light a ton of destinations, like 3 destinations.
Oh, really?
And then added in, and so like everything that came with them. So if there was a strike on that destination, it's gone. PvP map, gone. So get rid of everything that's tied together with those destinations, and then bring in Europa and the Cosmodrome, which was another
that was D1, wasn't
D1 place too. So then we arrive at Beyond Light. You log in, and then it's The entire game is different. Like there's
Good or bad, different.
good in a lot of ways. There's everything's very very slimmed down. Like your inventory is freed up by a lot of things because they did this thing called sunsetting where certain weapons cannot go above a certain power. So they're basically useless in PvE. You can still use them in PvP because it's a level playing field. But if you're going into a strike or a raid or something where you need to have a high power level, you cannot use weapons from the previous 3 years of Destiny. So,
a good or bad thing?
It initially is so the simplification, getting rid of all like the extraneous quests and currencies and all the clutter that went away with the destinations that were removed. Very good. And they revamped the onboarding process for New Light for players who are just jumping into Destiny, and it's a way better introduction to the game. Actually kind of tells you where you need to go to do what thing and kind of gives you a little bit of background. It's 100 times better than it was before. So that stuff is good, and it's going to help the game in the long run. So the other good parts was I think Europa, the new destination, is really really cool. I think that's they added a dynamic weather system, which is really cool.
That was really interesting when we played.
Yeah, so like you'll just be driving around. It's an ice planet, so everything will be sunny and it'll be really bright white and blue and really pretty. And then like this storm will just come out of nowhere and it'll get really dark and like a blizzard, like almost a whiteout. Like you can't see anything. You can just see the glow of some lights in the distance, and it's really cool. It's
pretty realistic.
Yeah, it's visually very stunning, and very cool. Technically, that they could do that, so that's cool. I think Europa's cool, and there's a new subclass that you can use. So basically, new powers that you can use, called Stasis, and that's really cool too. That's really fun to use. So that's good. They're very creative with the powers and that they give the player. However, now it's getting some bad stuff. So I played a bunch and I pretty much did everything in a couple days. So the problem is that they are like drip feeding things out throughout the season. So the season is like 100 days or something like that. So each week something happens and you can go do something else and progress the game a little bit further. You can't just jump in on day one and do everything. Right. So you have to wait for real time to pass. And people like me, like I had a weekend free and a day off of work because there was a holiday. Mm-hmm. So I played a lot. But now we're going to be traveling a ton over the next month, next week for Thanksgiving, and then we got 1 week back here, and then we're traveling on the weekend, and then we got another week, and then I'm going hunting on that weekend, and then we got another week, and then we're gone for Christmas. So it's like, I'm not going to have any time really to play and do these other things that I know are going to happen throughout the rest of the season. And like the stuff that that's there for me to do now that I beat like the main campaign, like I just don't really care about. So like I have good enough weapons. I have good enough armor. Like I'm probably not going to do the raid because I just don't have time to commit to that.
I forget how long those took.
The first time when you try, like it's like a 6-hour thing, and you have to have 5 other people that are
As committed
as
as you are.
committed as you are, which never happens. So you always get somebody that drops off, and then you have to
And then
find
you got to
somebody
pick up somebody
else, and
new.
then while you're waiting for somebody to pick somebody up, somebody else goes away, and it's just a shit show. So I don't have time to commit to that. So like I really think I'm done for the season. And I did not buy, like, you have the option to buy all of the seasons. I only bought the first season, and Beyond Light itself was free for me through Game Pass. So I am only
Oh yeah.
invested like $10. So I don't have any obligation to play past this, and I don't really care to. Like, there's other things that I would rather do or play, other games that I would rather play.
So so what could they do to keep the lifer Darkness 15 on like they how could they keep you there? Cuz you've been here since the jump.
Yeah, I've played Destiny since the beta in 2013. So that was 7 years ago.
Holy shit.
Um yeah. So,
Soldier sold Destiny.
yeah, pretty much. Um I really think that they should have some sort of matchmaking for raids.
Oh yeah.
Um
Instead of going through like the LFL or whatever the hell it is.
LFG,
Oh, LFG.
looking for a group.
Hmm.
And then um I don't know. I mean, how do you make somebody care?
Have characters that are interesting or know that there's going to be something that's worth there's got to be you have to be rewarded with something to keep people coming back. There has to
Rewards,
be something.
re-
Yes.
rewards, and character and story.
In story.
I don't think they're. I think the rewards are just okay. And I don't think that Destiny is a very story driven game.
No.
It's an action driven game, and
Yes.
the action is very fun, but hasn't really changed in 7 years. So I'm like kind of bored of it.
Afflicted. I ain't wanting trouble.
So I mean, it might just be me. Like, I'm older. I've got other responsibilities. Like, I just don't care as much anymore about Destiny. I can't wait though to play Halo Infinite whenever that
Oh,
fucker comes out.
never. This shit. COVID's got the chokehold. They put him in the full Nelson.
Yeah, no. So I don't know. I think that for Destiny to really make me care and want to play every day, like, it's gotta just have some better rewards and more raids. If they had matchmaking, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And if it was more of a like character story driven game, like your character talks like maybe 3 lines in the expansion of Beyond
Uh,
Light. So it's like your character doesn't. You do all these crazy things, but you're just you're nobody. You know.
right. Where okay, so now I think about Halo. Halo, the original trilogy, the story was so good. I played through 2 dog shit games just to see what the fuck's gonna happen.
Yeah, Halo 4 and Halo 5.
God, Halo 4, just throw it the fuck away. There's no. Every time that we've tried to play through that, I'm just like, there's no point. Well, what is the point of this? This is just dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So the Master Chief Collection, that's got crossplay now, so you could play on your computer. I can play on my Xbox. Um,
I played some matchmaking.
yeah,
It was pretty interesting. I really like how fluid the game was, but I got ramshackled because people that play with the mouse and shit, I
you
play with
can
keyboard.
you tried to play with your keyboard.
I tried for a little bit. I just went right back to controller.
Yeah, yeah. You got to change your input to controller. If especially because that's what you've been playing on your whole life.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like the first couple of games you were talking about how we're so story driven. So like Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3 were so
Like
you were
I was
so
dead ass about to
invested.
cry at the end of Halo 3.
Right, you were so invested in that story and those characters. Sergeant Johnson, Cortana,
Mm-hmm.
John
Yeah,
1117.
117.
You know, all those that cast of characters were so good. Like you can for a brick, he flew pretty good. So like you can
Exactly.
say you can remember these lines from those games, but I can't tell you a single line from Destiny.
And think about the amount of time that you've spent on Destiny as compared to when we were playing like Xbox 360 use on Halo 3 like early.
Yeah,
Dude, Halo, when the hell did Halo 3 even come out? I feel it feels like
2007.
oh, wow, eon ago at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's crazy.
Yeah, 2007. I would go to school, go to football practice because it came out in like September. So you're having football.
Yeah.
Go to football practice, come home, do my homework as humanly fast as possible, and then play Halo every day. That's what we did. Me
Yeah.
and all my friends, every single one of us. That's what we did. Um,
And I sat there and I watched.
oh, you eventually had your own
Yeah,
Xbox and
exactly. Yeah.
you played as well.
I just remember playing through the last mission on Legendary, and I was like shitting a brick, trying not to fucking crash the Warthog.
Dude, like in like those missions, you can remember some crazy moments that you had playing on those missions.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that cannot be said about Destiny. You cannot say that. I mean, maybe
No.
like the first time you beat a raid or something.
Oh, okay.
Like I can remember doing the Vault of Glass and King's Fall. Those were really really fun and memorable for me. But there's way more moments that I've had in Halo than in Destiny. So I cannot wait for Halo Infinite to come out. So because I really think it can capture some of that essence from those first Halo games and kind of push it forward into the present day with the
I hope
technology
so.
of the Series X and PC because it's going to be able to be played on both.
I hope that's the scary thing. Is like I'm glad that they're taking more of a Battlefield approach to this. Is like, look, I don't think that we're gonna make the deadline by drop. Like, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'd much rather you take the fucking time and give
Yeah.
me a whole game
Yeah.
than just give me, oh god, publishers on my ass. Turn this in. Fuck it.
Right.
Sign my name on it.
Right. So so it doesn't make sense for them to put it out now or in the spring. So they're for sure just gonna do it. They're gonna drop it next holiday, next fall.
Fall.
Yeah, probably middle.
That's when Battlefield 6 or the next Battlefield's gonna come out, and that's gonna be raw.
I think it'll be a December 2021 release.
That's late. Damn.
Yeah, I think it'll be November or December 2021.
So we're still like a full on year out.
Mm-hmm.
God
Yep.
damn.
Yep. But I think it's okay. Like it's not going to hurt the sales of the Series X.
No, not with everything that's now offered with Game Pass.
Right. And just how crazy powerful the system is, like how it can run games at 4K 120 some games. And a lot at 4K 60. Like that's nuts. That's computer grade performance in a $500 package.
Right.
You know, it's like you spend whatever 12 or 1300 on your computer, when I could just buy an Xbox if I can find one.
That's the kicker.
For 500.
You're gonna go on eBay and drop about $1,000 on one right now. Christ.
No, there's no reason for me to do that. I don't have any game that I really want to play that would take advantage of the new, more powerful hardware.
Right. And there, and like we've talked about before, like you would be really bottlenecked at your TV. Like you don't have a 4K monitor, you don't have
Nope.
like a 4K TV,
Nope.
and the TV that we have is relatively old.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I noticed because I went from a TV to a monitor, just like a 1080p monitor, to now I have a 4K monitor, and it is like I went and just looking at web pages, like not even playing a game, just looking at text on a screen. I'm just like, this is just fucked up. Like I can't even look at my old monitor anymore. It's
Jeez.
disgusting. Garbage. But 4K and like I've been recording a lot more in 4K. Like even like much crisper. Like my monitor is also HDR, and that
Mm-hmm.
gets taken into some games,
Mm-hmm.
and like it is literally just crazy. Like you can see actual definition. Okay, so like HDR is just basically you can see more into the shadows and you can see more into the highlights of an image. And so like normally it makes sense for a game to just fucking blow out all the clouds and blow out the skyline because it's harder for engines to run that. It's a lot of data to process basically.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we're moving forwards and councils are able to actually look at shit like that, the gaming environment is just completely changing. It's really interesting to watch and be a part of.
Yeah.
I love games.
Yeah, me too. That's fun. I just don't have as much time to play as I used to.
Yeah.
And I don't have games that I care to create time for.
Right. That's the thing. It's like there's a bunch of games out there. Like I haven't finished Red Dead, or like there's
Yeah.
a bunch of games that like I've played through like half of Mafia. That game is so fucking good. Oh my god. I need to try it on my monitor, my new monitor.
Yeah. For sure. There's so many games like that where you start and then you just get distracted and just don't finish it.
Or don't
Like,
pick it back up.
yep, like Doom. I played through probably 3/4 of Doom. That's fun,
Oh, yeah.
but I don't know. I don't care to finish it honestly. Uh, this little like indie game called Moonlighter. I played a bunch of that. Got about 3/4 of the way through that, and I'm just like, whatever. Not going back to it. Um, the only game like that I really did everything possible to that I could recently was probably The Witcher.
Oh, okay.
The Witcher 3. I played. I think I probably did every single quest. I think I found every single item that you wanted. Like, did literally everything that I could in that game.
That's me with PlayStation games.
Yeah.
I like 98%ed Spider-Man. I played through God of War twice. Horizon Zero Dawn I played through twice. Like it's oh god, it's so fucking good. It's
Yeah.
so good. I haven't beat Ghost of Tsushima yet. That game's actually pretty long, and there's just so much shit. And it's just so cool. All of it is just so fucking cool because it's like you go and you're just like wandering along, and then there's just like this super bright yellow bird, and you're just like, huh? That's pretty fucking cool. And then it like runs around or flies around you, and then like goes somewhere else, and you're just like, all right, fuck, follow it. It leads you to some like spring, and you just like sit there and like meditate, and you gain something in game from doing it. Like I don't remember what the hell it is called at this point, but you gain something in game from literally just going out and like meditating, or like you can write like poems, and like that shit like helps you in the game, and it's just like it's just there's so much like little cool shit.
And I feel like that's how Zelda is too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so many things so much like player discovery
Right.
in those games where you're like, man, that's really cool after something happens. Like these unique little moments.
Definitely. And like I never really experienced like Ghost of Tsushima with the D-pad.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a point where I was just like, this is like this is pretty different. And I've only really experienced that one other time, and that was like playing Mario Odyssey
Yeah.
on Wii, like with fucking. I don't remember what the hell it was, but I was like a ghost or something. And I just remember having to like shake the paddles in a certain way or shake the remote in a certain way to get the character to react the way I wanted them to. And I
Hmm.
was just like, dude, this is different. This is not just me pushing forwards on the left stick to move forwards. And that's genuinely pretty interesting because that's like aside from every game that I've ever played.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that goes back to what we were talking about with the controller for PS5, how having those the touchpad in the center and the haptic feedback in the controllers gives the developers so much more creativity for how they can have the player uh, react and do different things.
Yeah, I don't want to go back talk that triggers on it. Like I've seen videos of like people playing the new COD,
Hmm.
and it's like it literally like the trigger weight changes based on what gun you're using.
That's so crazy because like that's how real guns are.
Yeah, in real life, yeah,
Yeah,
is like that's just like mind blown. Like holy shit.
it's really cool. I might have to abandon Xbox and get a PS5. I don't know. Can't
I don't,
can't do it.
I don't know.
Can't do it.
Just I got a
I,
problem.
they make like controllers like that, like Scuff. They make controllers like that for
Not on par with PlayStation 5 now, boy.
sure. Probably, but
And also, scuff controllers are like $250.
yeah, that's yeah true. Yeah, I don't need to spend that much money on stuff. Well, um,
Unless you're buying another gun.
so yesterday I went out and I got my hunting license and got some deer tags. I got
You
turkey,
have to get slugs.
huh?
You have to get slugs too.
Oh no,
Or
to
know what you hunt deer with. But I know you got tags. Like I know, yeah, you got to buy a tag so you can kill a deer. Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah. So I go out and like um I got turkey, I got deer, I got a bear, I
what the fuck?
got a fishing one, and yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. But yeah, that's just what they give you. Like you buy the big game one, which has a deer, and then you get like the small game one, which has like turkey and stuff. But yeah, it just comes the bear. You could get one bear tag, so I could go kill one bear.
But that just comes like so you get like a large game
Yeah,
package, and
yeah,
it comes with turkey and bear or
yeah.
deer and
Deer.
bear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so back like I phrased my question terribly, but so if you're hunting deer,
Yeah,
do you use but like deer? Do you get slugs or like how do you? Because I know obviously you hunt bird with birdshot.
yeah. So I have a 20 gauge shotgun that I'm going to use,
Is that
and
the lever action?
no, that's a pump. It's a
Okay,
pump shotgun. It's one we
okay.
shot clays with.
Oh, that's the 20 gauge. I was thinking about the 10.
The 16 gauge is
Whatever.
the bolt action that I
Yeah,
have.
that's the one.
Um, thing almost blew my shoulder off when I was shooting it. Just kick so hard. So that's why I'm using the 20 gauge.
Yeah.
So for that, I'm going to use slugs. Yeah. So it just shoots a straight up metal ball at this fuckers and blowing the deer apart. So I'm going hunting with my friend Travis out on his land. Uh,
Travis is who we went fishing with, right?
yeah, he's who we went fishing with, and he's we went out there and we set up all these deer stands. So I'm gonna be sitting up there in some tree with my orange vest on or whatever, and
Yep.
some deer is just gonna walk by right below me. Okay, and I'm just be like, oh shit, I'm gonna kill this thing.
You
So
go whip. fucking hard.
So it's just gonna be. So this is how I'm envisioning it happening. So I'm sitting in there on the deer stand. We've been there for an hour, 2 hours. It's like, huh?
How tall?
It's probably, I don't know, probably 10, 12, 15 feet maybe. It's over 10 feet for sure. Probably closer to 15. So I'm just sitting up there. This is how I imagine it's gonna happen in my head. I'm just sitting up there. Got my gun. Just chilling. We've been there for like an hour, hour and a half maybe. It's starting to lighten up a little bit because you go out real early in the morning, like 3:30, 4 o'clock. So it's starting to lighten up a little bit. And I just hear this like the deer breaking some leaves as it's walking, or some snow, because it'll be December 12th when I'm out there.
Oh yeah.
So there's probably gonna be some snow on the ground. So I just hear it crunching through the snow, and then I just look around, and then there it is, just walks right below me, and then I take my gun and I just blow its head off.
Oh my god.
Not even trying to, but that's just what's gonna happen.
Not even like, yeah, you're gonna aim for like the lungs or
Yeah,
something.
you're
Like,
supposed to shoot.
back into it.
I don't know if you can see a video of it, like right under its chest, where its heart would be. So you want to shoot it from the side, and aim for its heart so that it, obviously dies quickly. You want to kill it as humanely as possible, which I'm gonna try and do, obviously, because I don't want to like. Travis was telling me about like how some guy shot the deer and just blew its leg off.
Oh,
it did not die, so they had to like go track it down.
Track it down.
And it had like went like a half mile to like 3/4 of a mile away, and just bleeding.
Oh.
And then it wasn't dead. It was just like sitting there on the ground, and then they just had to finish it off. But that just is just a horrific way to treat the animal, So I definitely do not want that to happen. So then I'm like, that's why I was thinking, like, subconsciously I might just go for the headshot. It's a it's a clean kill.
It's a clean kill, but yeah, that's a smaller target.
But if that's what I'm saying, if it's right underneath me, like, then I'm just like, don't take any chances. I know this one's dead. So
picking pieces of brain off your fucking legs.
Yeah, I don't know. We might not even see anything because it'll be late in the season. The season starts this weekend, so it'll be a
bunch of my friends are talking about how they're going out hunting.
Yeah, so it'll be the third weekend that I'm going, and so we might not even see anything. Because
I was gonna say, a bunch of my friends, like Joey Nauman, he always tells me, like, you think that it would take like an hour, you think that it's like a short process, but like you're there all day.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I'm a big first time hunter here, so I know what to expect. I'm just hoping that I actually get a clean kill. That's all I want.
Just like think about it like the fish, like when we went fishing out on the lake. It's just like, if you get something like it's great, like you want to get one thing, but don't be surprised if you don't.
Right.
I've never hunted. I hunted a shit ton of fucking crows in our backyard. I fucked them hoes up. But outside of that, and that's with the Red Ryder.
Yeah.
That's with the old Red Ryder.
When we were walking back from getting the tags yesterday, and I was like, I can't believe that you're actually gonna go. She's like, I never thought that you would do something like that. I was like, well, yeah.
You're not hunting for sport.
No, that's exactly what I said. I was like, I would never just go hunt to kill something for fun. Like, I want to have this meat for us to eat as a family. Um,
Right.
it's like the provider thing. I want to be a provider. Um, and that's it's really really high quality meat. So, but yeah,
I've had venison jerky, and that's about it.
it's really good. Chuck's made it a couple times for me, and then
Mm.
his girlfriend Sally made it one time, and it was really good. So,
You got more of that goat soap?
uh, actually, I think we're all out, but
Man, we gotta fucking figure. I started using that shit. All right. I was a skeptic. I was a
it's
skeptic
good, huh?
at first. I was a skeptic, and then all of a sudden, it starts getting cold and shit. And I'm just like, I'm not doing PCP. Why am I itching? And then, like, I started using that soap, and like, damn, my skin is about soft as shit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's like, it works very nice on my skin.
Yeah, I would totally make some if I knew how, or just buy some.
Yeah.
You could always just buy some. I'm sure you could find some at like a farmer's market. It's a pretty common thing to have around is goat soap.
I wanted to call you the other day because I know that you're like I am kind of like into some like genuine like kind of fucked up shit. All right, all right. Let me preface this first.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm friends with this girl named Grace in DeKalb, and she like texted me like, oh, I was bored as shit. She's like, you want to come over? I saw some TikTok about some movie, and it says that this movie's really fucked up. And I was like,
Okay.
all right, okay, we'll dabble. It's not on Netflix. It's not on Hulu. It's not on Amazon. Fucking YouTube, boy.
A YouTube movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called Megan's Missing.
Mm.
I will never watch this movie again in my life.
How long is it?
Hour 20.
So it's a full
It's a full length
full
movie.
movie. Yeah.
The most like it's not scary. It's not like anything's gonna pop out and like scare you. Nothing. But that is the most fucked up movie I have ever seen in my life. Like it's like I'm not gonna tell you exactly what happens.
I'll watch it when we're back.
It will be me and you, dude. And
Maybe tomorrow night.
I don't like Hannah should not watch this. Like,
Oh God.
this will make you question like if you have a daughter eventually this like you will not want to let her out like at night.
Yeah.
Like this made me question like walking around like the Calb at night because it's like a girl like two girls like go missing and like this they find like the fucking lost tapes of these girls and they get abducted and the things that ensue and it is very sexual.
Yeah.
Like there's parts where I was genuinely like we could fast forward through this. Like
Oh boy.
I told a couple of my friends to watch it and I'm just like my roommate watched it that night and like I caught him like the next day and he was like, dude, I watched that shit at like 3:30 in the morning. It was the biggest mistake of my life. And I was like, because I got back and it's like midnight when I got back and I was like, all right, we can go for a run now. Like I am so hyped up, like holy shit, like oh, I'm getting hyped up just thinking about it.
Yikes.
This shit was so fucked. But I want you to watch this and if there's anybody in the audience that has seen this, I want to hear
Megan's Missing.
Correct. It's on
Okay.
YouTube.
Okay. Well, I have to give it a watch and then we can talk about it after I've watched it.
Yeah, we can do that. Do like an in-person podcast or something. But
Yeah.
it's seriously like it's bad. It's just bad. Like a really good movie. You never know what's gonna happen next, and they always find a way to top themselves.
Mm.
It's just, yeah.
All right.
I can't go further into it without revealing anything.
All right. Yeah. Don't spoil it for me.
But you got anything else you want to cover?
No, just that we're leaving here.
Oh yeah,
Upstate
what
New
time's the
York.
flight?
We're leaving. Our flight leaves at about 6:30 tomorrow morning. And we
Oh
get in
shit!
at 7:46.
So you'll be back home, and I'll still be asleep.
Yeah, we'll probably get in around 9:30 maybe at the latest.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I will probably be asleep. I think that I'm gonna go out tonight and might be hanging.
Mm. Yeah, I just want to drink some coffee from the Mocha Master.
Oh my god. It's like I've been home like 2 weekends. I think that it's been the Mocha Master has been within the household,
Mm-hmm.
and every time I go upstairs, Dad's like, "Hey, you drink some of the coffee?" It's like 10:30. I know damn well that coffee is about colder than your ex
Mm,
bitch's titty. Like
no.
it's gonna be ice,
No, it's not. No, it's not. He's got the insulated thing.
bro. They make coffee 45 in the fucking morning.
So it stays warm.
All right, I'll try her out tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah,
The
why would you
mocha
not try
master.
it? Huh?
Because every time I went to go drink coffee that he made in the pot before, fucking cold.
Well, you gotta make some new stuff, or
Don't
drink
drink
the cold,
coffee.
or drink the cold stuff. No, you can't not drink coffee.
Dude, I don't drink coffee. I'm like wired as it is.
I drink about 5 cups of coffee a day.
You're facts. You're addicted to the caffeine now.
No, I do.
It's la cocaína.
We make one pot, but we have like a mini coffee maker. So it only makes 5 cups. It only takes 5 cups of water, and that makes like 4 1/3 cups of coffee.
Mm.
And me and Hannah just split that. So like two cups volume of coffee is about what I drink, but it's like one mug full.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
get what you're saying.
yeah,
I get what you're saying.
one bigger mug full. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to have some tomorrow morning because we gotta leave here probably like
Yeah, you gotta get
4.
going early.
We gotta be on the road probably like 4:30 to get to the airport. By like 5, and then boarding starts at 6:05. So, yeah, that's
All right,
it.
well, I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yeah,
Thanks for
well,
watching.
yeah, we'll be in there. That'd be doing an in-person show probably. I don't know, sometime within
After we watch that fucking movie.
sometime within the next couple days after we watch that movie or something.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a little guest appearance by Hannah or Theo or Dad or something. Who knows?
Yeah, someone.
Have a co-host, an extra co-host on.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, if you enjoyed the show, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and we will see you next time.